All right, looks like we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wagner Wire. I am Adam Wagner. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Maximum Fantasy Sports, for getting us all of our little knickknacks here. We got some shirts, we got some banners. Maximum Fantasy Sports offers free maximum, a way to maximize your potential, really, with free commissioner leagues. Stop by www.maximumfantasysports.com and sign up for free leagues. I do. We played last year online. It's pretty cool, man. It's got some three-way trades, so that way, like sometimes you have a quarterback, or you're pretty much flooded with quarterbacks, and you're trying to get this other running back off the team, but there's not so much that you really have. He's got quarterbacks, but he needs a wide receiver. Now, you got the other guy on the other hook. Say, hey man, let me get your input here. You get the wide receiver off of him. Maybe you get the other. Maybe you get a quarterback off the other guy, and now everybody's happy, man. It's pretty cool. That's that's part of it that it offers. That's what I really liked about it, and it's refreshing, man. So like when you go to make your draft selections, it's even got like a beer that you check out, or that you hit, draft, get it. It's a draft beer. You're drafting your player. Anyways, stop by once again, MaximumFantasySports.com. All right, so on the agenda today, we're going to talk a little bit about Copa America. We're going to talk about the NBA free agency coming up. That's July 1st. That's when it opens up. Talk about Durant, see if he stays or if he goes. And I don't know, man. All this hype ending with Game of Thrones going down. We're going to talk about what we can come up with theories there. Maybe some crucial moments. See what's going on. Just some fun. If you haven't seen it, I'll wave my hands, or I should have got like a sign pretty much that said, "Hey, plug your ears." Anyways, man. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. We're going to have a podcast coming up later. But for our live viewers, just thanks for tuning in. Once again, sponsored by Maximum Fantasy Sports. If you missed it, I see that some, viewers are coming in now. Thank you. Anyways, we're also going to end up on talking about DFS and just have a quick review down and dirty. See what lineups are coming up that you might want to have for tonight. And, seeing how I keep missing all the time on these free plays, because of course Texas won't let you won't let residents enter paid contests for FanDuel, which is kind of just nerve-wracking. Anyways, man, yeah, thanks for joining. It's going to be about an hour show, maybe 45 minutes, but we're going to dive right in and talk about Messi leaving Argentina for the national team. Do you guys think that's going to happen? Go ahead and tweet at me at ATWagner3181, or you can tweet at the show at the Wagner Wire. But yeah, I just I don't know. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this roster right now, and Argentina is stacked. I mean, there's a reason why they're arguably the number two. Or one rather on people's people's list for being the top national team in the world. You look at this midfield and it's filled with talent, leading with Messi at the age of 29, right? And then you got a young stud by the name of Eric Lamela, who plays for Tottenham at 24, and you see that he's producing by the Tottenham Academy. They're having one hell of a campaign and just the talent that they're producing coming in. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, you really you go down this roster here, and why would Messi want to leave? They're one step away, as we've seen. Now, it's been made talk that he could have been speaking passionately, and I most certainly think he was. I was the guy that yelled at people at gym class, you know what I mean? That didn't put out. So, and being in rec leagues, I still get, if I miss a shot, even today, as an adult, in rec leagues, I miss a shot, I get all bent out of shape. So this guy's a top tier athlete. Imagine what he's feeling. I can only imagine missing a goal or missing a PK in a shootout, at a Copa America. I've never been on that level, nor will I ever be. But I mean, just put yourself in that shoe. Sure, he spoke out of frustration, And that's what I'm putting it to. Anyway, there's also people saying that not really feeling the love from Argentinians over the years, and Argentina's never really loved him. And even I don't know if you followed the story of Messi, but he had an ailment uh, young when he was a boy, and pretty much Barcelona, I believe, has paid for most of the medical expenses and whatnot, and put him into that academy. So he's been pretty much raised as in Spain, almost comparable to Diego Costa. All with I believe his comparable countries. Maybe Portugal, I'm not sure, but anyways, he felt more love for Spain, so I think he declared that he was going to play for Spain. However, I don't know if that's going to be enough to send Messi to play for Spain. That's what I was alluding to. There's rumors saying that Messi could just say he's done it as an Argentinian and playing for Argentina national team, and maybe not retiring and playing for Spain. There's that theory out there as well. I don't believe that. I think he's going to stay right there with Argentina. Looking at this, I mean, you saw. I don't know if you followed the game either, folks. I'm talking about Copa America, the final last night. Between Chile and Argentina, 10-on-10, right before half. So pretty much we got to see another half of 10-on-10, and it was kind of like watching a pickup basketball game. It was great, man. Really fast paced, a lot of counters. You got to see Messi take on he was taking on four defenders from Chile, and he was still carving through them like soft butter. And I don't see how this guy at the top of his game could say that he's ready to walk away, especially from the national team that's arguably one or two in the world. So I guess my question is he done? No. Answers, outright stated, no, absolutely not. You got Aguero. Are you guys aware of Sergio Aguero? This dude, he's 28. He subbed in for Higuain around the 70th minute last night during the contest. Higuain, 27, another guy that can just score. We all remember Higuain's crucial score in the World Cup. Awesome goal. But this is what Messi brings. And then when you have Messi underneath of Sergio Aguero, especially with fresh legs, this guy's one of the most electrifying goal scorers in the Premier League. We've seen what he's done for Manchester City. Just top class, great in form, and to sit here and have the testimony from Aguero say that he's never seen Messi crushed like that at the end of the game. I mean, that speaks high regard, but still, I just see it as passion here. I just see it as a statement of passion. I can't believe that Messi's done. Not with this team that I'm sitting here, rambling off these. I'm just in awe sitting here looking at it. There's just no way he can possibly be done. Yeah, man. But you just gotta figure. If you watch that second half, it was Bravo, the goalie for Chile, made some impressive stops, especially the one against Aguero that was pretty much on a platter for Aguero. Aguero normally drives those home. He's one of the top finishers in the Premier League. So it wasn't Argentina's night. I don't know if they're cursed. There's a lot of people thinking that there's cursed. Antics on that team. There's the shadow of Maradona. That maybe that's why Messi leaves. I don't believe that one bit. I think Messi stays. He obviously just passionate. Probably doesn't like losing. Want 4 in a row. 4 big losses in a row. Probably doesn't sit well with Messi, especially being an elite athlete. Anyways. Sitting here watching this Iceland-England game now, man, what a half that was first been. What is it about guys with the name of like Rygaard and real crazy, Thor type of names? I don't know. Maybe it just brings out the warrior Viking in all of us. I'm not sure, but these guys, they definitely came to play. You can see it in Iceland's play pretty much. They're gritty. Gylfi Sigurdsson. I don't know if you guys follow follow Swansea a lot. He plays for Swansea, top midfielder in the Premier League, and you see his what I believe is his brother or another Sigurdsson, Rhaegar Sigurdsson, who's got the 2 goals for Iceland. Just drove home one. His second goal was one heck of a strike. But the first goal came from a Rooney penalty. Anyways, back that's going to take us out of soccer. I want to talk a little bit about the NBA free agency coming up July 1st here. A lot of people think Durant's going to, and you know what, I get frustrated because I'm hearing other people, professional, well-known journalists talk about this, ESPN journalists, Fox Sports journalists. It frustrates me because I really believe people are just trying to make up drama. And what I mean by that is, why can't we just be happy with what we have? Why do we have to make everything the best? Why do we have to placate to the big markets, so to speak? Why do we have to imagine Kevin Durant in another place in a bigger market like New York or even DC? Me being a Washington Wizards fan, I would love to see Kevin Durant in DC, but it does not make sense. Why would he come to DC? Especially with the trade that Oklahoma Thunder just made to get Adipo. Yeah, it's Adipo, man. To get this guy from Orlando, sure, it frees up some space, man. But you gotta look at this lineup. If the Thunder go small with Durant and what I think could be a missing, they need one piece of the puzzle. But just hear this Thunder lineup right now for small, because Waiters is walking. We know that. Waiters is pretty much done. He's not gonna resign. He's gonna probably take a chunk somewhere else, or the Thunder won't resign him. But the Thunder got $22 million to spend in cap space. And right now, if they go small, they have Russ at point, Audipo at the 2, possibly, yeah, definitely at the 2. There's a hole right there at the 3 because I think Durant will probably play 4, and they got Adams. That's if they go small. Now that's crazy. That's so you're missing. You can fill that little piece in with Robertson, but I think they're going to upgrade. And what I mean, you heard me mention the cap, the room that they have for the cap, and that's estimated. Now there's what I was reading earlier when I was prepping for the show. There's some taxes and luxury taxes that they might have to pay for being over the cap a few years ago or this past year, but cutting Ibaka loose and taking on that rookie salary for Adipo, it's just gonna make a little bit more room for what I think they can go out and get Nicholas Batum. I have been trying to get people to give me their input on if they think Nicholas Batum is in the works for Oklahoma City Thunder, and I still have not been able to get any response back. So I don't know if people just have not been exploring the idea as much as I have, or if I'm just romanticizing about it, because I would love to see KD get a championship. He's a tremendous athlete. Me being from the state of Maryland, being around the Baltimore Frederick area pretty much my whole life, he being around the Bethesda, the Gaithersburg area, DC area, it's pretty cool. And then the fact that we both went on to the University of Texas, he obviously had played basketball, and I'm just saying I just think the connection's pretty cool. Even though he has no idea who the hell I am. Anyways, but I would just like to see him get a championship. I really believe that that he can get it done, especially if they get Nicholas Batum. Batum's probably going to cost around $20 million. We understand that. But like I mentioned, 22 to spend. I think now you have this lineup. You got Russ at 1, you got Poe at 2, you got Batum at 3, you got Durant at 4, you got Adams at 5. That is one hell of a small lineup. That's just going small. Now, when they go big, they'll bring in, Cantor, bump Durant down to the 3, give some people, some rest and whatnot. They they got options if they bring Batum in. I like what I'd see. I'd definitely love to see him explore it. So anybody out there listening, please pass this on to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let their management know that this is what they should be doing. Anyways, so that being said, I don't know why Durant would want to leave. People brought up, points about markets and whatnot. No one cares. Look at who's winning around the leagues now. God, look at small market teams. It's not the Yankees anymore. I mean, I'll go to baseball because I normally watch. I watch baseball the most. Baltimore, the O's, man, small market team. They're up. They're on the ups. Kansas City, the Royals. You think the Royals are a big market team? Get out of here, man. I don't know what you're smoking, man, but it ain't my brand. Anyhow, I mean this small market, this idea that Kevin Durant has to go to a big market team. LA, who's winning in LA? No one's. What if Durant just goes to LA? You think he's going to be happy? You think people are going to follow? No. You think he's going to win in New York? Then no, that ain't happening. DC, I mentioned DC, that's out. The big market cities, it doesn't matter. He'd be crazy to leave Oklahoma City, especially with his contracts. Nike is enough for Durant. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have to go to a big market. He's got kids, fans of the NBA, they don't care if it's a big city. No one wants to have to rely on the franchise team anymore. It's because it's full of superstars, man. It's about the matchups, and we saw that when LeBron left Cleveland and went to Miami. People still love LeBron. That's why you hear LeBron haters, you hear Steph haters. You're not hearing Warrior haters. You're hearing players, man, because that's what this league has become. With how the fans see it. The fans see it now as a superstar league, and rightfully so. It's great. It's great basketball. It's great NBA basketball. But I think the Warriors do play awesome team basketball. A lot less ISO basketball like other NBA teams play. But just the whole concept that people like my kid, my son, the other day we got Nike shoes. Pretty much everything in this house is Nike, and it's because his star players they have Nike. He saw this Nike. I don't know if you guys have seen the commercial Snow Day. Brilliant commercial. It's with Gronk and a lot of other athletes. They go around and they get they have this pickup football game in the snow, and it's reminiscent of what we did when we were kids, and what my friends still like to do around the Thanksgiving tradition if everybody's home. But you get the concept of being a kid again and just having that fun, and then you have athletes that are obviously endorsing Nike. They come in. I saw you see Mariota. You see Sue, Dominic Sue, OBJ, Kuechly, or Luke Kuechly. You see all these star athletes signed by Nike, and it's just fun to see. It's a cool. One, it was a really cool commercial. It was brilliantly done, like I mentioned before. But my son saw it and really grabbed hold of it, and ever since then everything's pretty much Nike. But yeah, so I guess that's the major influence. I don't believe that it's strictly team anymore, so to speak. I do believe that it's pretty much down to the NBA player. So that being said, Kevin Durant to stay in Oklahoma City, that's got to be the best move, especially with his contract. If he does the 1 year, if he opts out and does this 1 year contract, pretty much like LeBron's going to do in Cleveland. it's just he's got an incentive to stay, and he just gets more money that way. And then next year when he resigns, he'll have a 4-year contract, and then it'll be up to Russ. He'll be, if they do try and pretty much go on pretty much balls to the wall and full at it with Batum to this roster and miss, then I guess they can both walk. But I mean, just to sit here and think, you're trying to guard the perimeter. You got a guy that can pretty much, get a triple double at point guard, almost, any game that he wants to. It seems he can take over. I think it was like 20 or a little bit about 16 maybe this season, but it just felt like more than that. Talking about Russ Westbrook, and I don't know. You add a few other pieces around him that can create shots, and now he doesn't have to rely on taking 3-point shots. He can rely on his game, which is drive and dish. I mean, God, it's going to be like, dare I say it, it's going to be like watching Duke basketball, where they just drive and kick out and drive and kick out. And me being growing up as a Maryland Terrapin fan, that's all I can remember. I have nightmares of Williams driving in and kicking out to Shane Battier, man. Like, that's just great. That's what you're about to see. I think that if they go small, that's what the Oklahoma City Thunder can bring. And then, we saw how they competed against Golden State this year. I thoroughly believe that they could have beat Cleveland. We saw how dominant LeBron James was in the finals. That's obviously a testament to him. I don't think Cleveland is that good of a team. I think you remove LeBron James, and it could be a playoff team with Irving, but man, one hell of a series LeBron had. One hell of an NBA Finals. Anyways, yeah, to say Durant is leaving, I think you're speaking out your ass. So, anyways, I'd like to hear what you think on that. Again, you can reach me at on Twitter at atwagner3181, or you can tweet the show at the Wagner Wire. Those of you that are just joining us, we are sponsored by Maximum Fantasy Sports. We'd like to thank Bill Parsons and Maximum Fantasy Sports for providing us with the shirts on our back and the little banner behind us. Hey, look at the brand, man. You can see the sponsor right there on the logo. Boom, Maximum Fantasy Sports. So if you're going to play, looking to play some free fantasy football this year, check out MaximumFantasySports.com. They offer 3-way trades, just fun trash. I mean, Yahoo's got good stuff too, don't get me wrong, but this is a really good way to explore different types of approaches with fantasy football, like thinking outside the box. Like, I really look at it as an adept fantasy football player's website. Although it offers great stuff for beginners, beginner fantasy football participants as well. But it's got free fantasy football leagues. It also has DFS. It has mid-season leagues where you can play maybe like weeks 8 through 12 if you get started late, or if you say you just like a run of games better. It's got whatever you get to choose. That's what it's all about, man. That's why I really love the freedom in this league. I don't feel as restricted as I do in other leagues like Yahoo. So that's why I'm taking my league that's been a keeper league, and I'm moving it to Bill Parsons' league, Maximum Fantasy Sports. Again, that's www.maximumfantasysports.com. You can follow them on Twitter as well at MFS or at Max Fantasy. All right, moving on. Oh, we're going to talk about this coming up in NFL season, and why I think pretty much why I think wide receivers are the way to go. And we're not going to spend much on this at all. I wanted to elaborate a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of people's projections coming out, and we got to keep in mind, I like adapting to how the league adapts as well, especially with PPR leagues, because that's mainly the standard now. It's not just it's not just your leagues where you get the the 4 points for a quarterback touchdown and your basic scoring points. You're getting stuff for wide receivers catching ball. You're getting bonuses for big plays, plays over 40 yards, and that, I believe, really it really I guess adds value to the wide receiver. And a lot of people think I'm crazy when they say, Wags, man, you must be out your mind to think that you're going to take a wide receiver in the first round. No, I'm not. If I'm besides Le'Veon Bell, right? Besides Le'Veon Bell, I gotta sit here. I'll throw it out there, man. I'll take Antonio Brown. Right behind Le'Veon Bell. You know why? And it's two Steelers. It's a very productive offense. It's Ben's two favorite targets, and just what I said right there, targets. Targets presents opportunity, and that's what's happening more and more frequently in this NFL. It's become a wide receivers league, especially with the hit zone. Pretty soon it's going to be like baseball, to where you can only hit at the knees and at the chest. So why not take a wide receiver, especially Antonio Brown? It's, I don't know. That's all pretty much I really had to say about that. I wanted to clear that up. Like, a lot of people have been asking me questions on Twitter. Why would you take a wide receiver? That's why. I just didn't feel like trying to get it in 160 characters. All right. Anyways. Oh. DFS, Daily Fantasy Sports. Damn it. Can't play paid contests, right? In Texas. So day in and day out, I have to sit here and play these free contests where pretty much you need a perfect lineup. You kind of need the perfect lineup almost every time, but not if you're playing like 50-50s and stuff like that. However, the promotional contests for FanDuel and DraftKings don't offer multipliers, league play. It's all tournament. It's all GPP, which is very tough. So we're just gonna go. I mean, this lineup I had last night, I just missed right around 173. The total to get in was 190, so almost 200, almost 200. I think I don't have that on my paper here, but anyways, rostered up Kennedy, got me 63 with 11 strikeouts, man. I don't have his ownership right here on the page, but I mean that, especially going up against, big top tier pitchers. I think Kennedy was around 76,000 if I can remember. But then I sit here and went with Jonathan Lucroy here in my catcher. I think he was 2,400, yesterday. Why not? Of course I'm going to go, especially at Coors, or not Coors, at Miller Park. And then he got me 15 and a half with two singles and a stolen base. You know what I mean? And Joey Votto let me down. I kind of knew. He's been struggling every now and then. So have the Red Legs. But anyways, even though they got the win 3-0, Joe, I got like a walk and a hit from Joey Votto with the 6. Daniel Murphy. Oh my God. Another goose egg from Murph. The mighty Murph has been letting me down. I got to keep taking him, especially against right-handed pitchers, with an ERA over 4.5, because that's just common sense, especially with a guy like Murphy hitting around 340, 345. I don't have his stats right here on the page. Almost around 15 home runs, somewhere around like that. The guy produces power, and he can get you those 28 points, those 30 points you need almost every night. He's that threat. He's definitely that threat. I don't know I have no idea what series listening, everybody, so watch out. Stop listening. Anyways, all right. So moving down, third base, rolled out Manny. Man, Manny got me 25. A couple runs, couple hits. Manny's he always produces. He's worth the money. Villar, I thought Villar rostering up a few Brewers, had that Brew stack, had that Nat stack. I thought Villar, he's always especially a stolen base threat. He got some runs, or no, he got it's hard to read. He got a stolen base, I think, last night, or a double. I can't see the sheet, but anyways, he got me 12, man. So that's worth it. Then he got a walk and a steal. I'll take that. Harper let me down. This Nat stack, man, that I've been, pretty much praising for a long time. They've just been letting me down for a while. Again, a righty on lefty matchup, and going into Miller Park, I just thought Bryce Harper would be knocking the ball out of the park, swinging the stick heavy, like my boy Trumbo, getting me 28 points down there at Birdland. That was a no-brainer. Anytime you can afford Trumbo and Machado in your lineup, you got to get them there. Then you saw who I didn't have. You saw Crush go off. Get that granny Oppo. That was one hell of a hit. And then I had Braun to break it home, man. Braun got me 15. So that being in there, that's 173. Really satisfied with the lineup, but like I said, just missed, man. It's kind of a bummer. Moving on. Game of Thrones. All right, so everybody out there that has not seen Game of Thrones, please, I'm going to wave my hands like this. Do not listen. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to walk out of the room. Once you walk out of this room, counting now, I'm going to start talking about some Game of Thrones theories, just to, spice things up a little bit, give some fan fun. The idea kind of came to me. I'm a big fan of Rosillo and Cannell, and they talk about The Bachelor, and it's cool. It's a TV show. It's not just all sports. It does kind of it ties into some other stuff that we got going on, because we are creatures that do many things. And so right now, that was your 10 seconds going into Game of Thrones. All right. Last night was the season, the season finale, and we finally saw the whole R plus L equal J theory, which is Rhaegar plus Lyanna equal Jon theory, come to play in. So we now know that Jon Snow is not the bastard son of Ned Stark. Most noble noble Ned, the only guy to just get beat on by his wife and scorned because she thought he took another woman. No, noble Ned did not. He's so noble that he took the promise of his sister. All right? Those of you all that watched the show last night know what I'm talking about, and that have read the books knew this for a while. Rhaegar was a Targaryen, and he eloped pretty much. The story was told that he had kidnapped Lyanna Stark, which was Ned's youngest sister, and took her away, who was betrothed to Robert Baratheon, who was the king when all this went down in season 1. So all of these people, they all thought that Jon Snow was the bastard of Ned's son, or was the bastard of Ned Stark. Even Kat. And all he had to do was tell Kat that it was his sister's child, and she would have even stopped hating Jon so much. That would have eased the hatred for Jon. But no, Ned had to hold that secret, even to its grave. And we saw when he was riding to King's Landing to become the hand of the king for Robert, and Jon was on his way to the north. He said, the next time we see each other, I'd speak about your mother. I'd tell you all about her. That never got to happen. And still, Jon is clueless about his origins. We know he's got Stark blood, but that is the link. So what else happened on Game of Thrones? We saw my girl Arya That's pretty much my favorite story of the show. This chick's bad, man. She's just bad. She's the assassin. That's the story that I've really liked, and everybody's been shocked to even think, how it's been so boring. When she went to Bravos and it was at the the house of the many-faced gods. Well, that's just what I mean. She was learning. She was finding out herself. She was finding out, who Arya Stark was or wasn't at the time, and God, she learned how to fight blind. She learned how to kill. What else did she learned? She learned that vengeance is more important to her than pretty much being honored as a loyal servant as a god and being able to have gifts and powers. She pretty much knows that it's her name that's worth more than anything else. Anyways, so we also know that Daenerys is got the dragon, she's got the boats, she's got the soldiers, she's moving west finally to Westeros. How about that? Finally, this chick is going on, over to try and take King's Landing and get the throne, what's rightfully, I guess, hers, right? Yeah. If it's the Targaryens, and then Baratheon, I guess, overthrew them. So I guess she's trying to get it back. But we also saw a little bit from Tyrion, who looked like he was falling in love with Dany Targaryen as he was pledging her allegiance to her, and she was pretty much giving him the hand, so to speak, claiming that Tyrion Lannister is the hand is pretty smart move. I don't know if you saw the inside of it. I took a peek at it. The inside edition of that Game of Thrones episode, he even speaks about how he knows Cersei the most and how he knows Westeros, and that is his Dany. That is Dany's most loyal ally there and most noble. I guess noble advisor. So, but I really found it funny and fascinating that all these men, everybody falls in love. They all end up falling for Dany. And Tyrion, because I have a theory that might send some of you guys nuts. And I'm going to wrap this up real quick. I believe Tyrion Lannister is not a Lannister at all. I believe he is a Targaryen. Because in the books, I believe he's described as having a head of silver. And we all know that the hair in Game of Thrones is a huge indicator of the house and the dominant signs of the character. So that being said, his fixation with dragons and the fact that those two dragons didn't eat him when he was down there trying to free him, I believe he might just have Targaryen blood in him. Also, the rhetoric. You hear the rhetoric that Tywin uses when he was talking to Tyrion, and I believe season 2. He says, "I raised you as my own, anyways. I raised you as my own, anyways." That's huge, man. That tells me that he wasn't a Lannister. So he might just be a Targaryen. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up pretty much. My DFS picks for tonight. I think with Arietta on the mound, you got to go there. You also got, I kind of fell victim with the Nats stack being in Brewers, being in Miller Park. But I think you really got to take a look at Saunders, and you got to take a look at Donaldson going tonight, being in Coors Field, especially with a pitcher with that high of an ERA. That's all for the Wagner Wire, man. Thank you once again for tuning in and watching. Again, we're sponsored by Maximum Fantasy Sports. You can find them at www.maximumfantasysports.com. Maximize your fantasy sports potential, guys. Get your free leagues in now. Get there and sign up. It's never too late. It's never too late to maximize your time. All right. Maximum Fantasy Sports. Thank you, Bill, for the sponsor. You see all the good gear in the back. Thank you, people, for tuning in to the Wagner Wire. I'll see you again.